Can you hear this?
Okay.
Okay.
Mega Dads Live is a mature-rated podcast. It's for the Mega Dads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
What's your favorite? I don't like that we did that together.
Yeah.
When we were like looking at each other. We've blown past Thanksgiving, and I've already given up the fact that I'm gonna, watch my weight or eat healthy or whatever. I just ate like a fucking pig on Thanksgiving. So now that we're past that, we're going full bore into Christmas season. What are you gonna be putting in your plates?
I have a prized possession of tamales that I have to eat every year. Tamales are like cornmeal, and it's wrapped in a husk, so a corn husk, and then they are steamed, kind of patted down, pressure cooked, and inside there's usually like a mole, like a chile based like sauce with either chicken or some type of meat. So I'll eat like the pork with the red mole tamales every year. And they are really great. So you can, like my family does make them from time to time, but we go and like get them from like a store or a restaurant or something like that. And I did get a chance to have some over Thanksgiving, and I must have some over Christmas. It's my favorite holiday food, and like I got to have some. Very thankful for that. But my uncle actually made a turkey that was like fantastic this year. Like it nothing like I've ever experienced before. Like it was like falling apart, almost like very juicy, very flavorful. So those are like that's kind of my key right there. Yeah. How about you?
My wife makes this. It's very simple. It's just like pretzels with almond bark coated on them.
Oh,
it's that perfect mixture of salty and sweet.
Okay.
That like you just pound into your face.
I feel that.
But I'm actually going to be trying something unique this year, because I got a package sent to me from our friend the Porters in our Megadads Discord. They're part of our Megadads community. They sent me a bag of barbecue corn nuts, courtesy of Nutman, the Nutman company.
I've had some of these.
I know you got a bag delivered to you as well.
During Extra Life, we had a bag of Nutman product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that you refer to it as Nutman product.
Yeah.
When they said that it was like corn nuggets, I was like, I wasn't expecting, like, they're actually fucking kernels of corn.
Yeah, basically.
Am I gonna like this?
You're gonna eat it. Okay. It's an interesting thing. Like, so I was like, oh, these are okay. And then like I kept eating them like throughout the night. Like I just kept going back. It's one of those like it has that crunch to it, so it brings me back. The Nutman, when you put it in your mouth, it's like very crisp, and it gives you that snackiness that you need.
Did you have the barbecue flavor?
I forget. I think it had some type of cheese flavor.
Like, I wonder if I should just put this like in a bowl, like in a cereal bowl,
and just eat it with milk.
And just like pour some ranch dressing or some shit
on
it.
Oh my God, Adam. I worry for you.
I feel like if you're eating Nutman, there should be some cream involved. It's time for Super Positives.
Mega Dad's being super positive.
Yeah.
With the things that are bringing you joy. This is the part of the show where we tell you about something that is bringing us happiness. And I'm going to talk about, I'm really excited. I don't know if you're excited about this, but this Monday night is the Vikings whiteout game. The Minnesota Vikings are playing the Chicago Bears at US Bank Stadium, and it's the whiteout game. So that's where they have their special custom white fits, the fucking white helmets, white gloves, white jersey, white pants, white shoes, white end zones, white logo in the middle of the field. The fans are all white because they're racist. It's going to be a great NFL experience, Monday night game. Are your Bears ready for the whiteout game?
We are gonna get so destroyed. So we just got rid of our head coach.
Yeah.
So we might get a slight bump from that. The players were openly saying like that they wanted him gone, basically.
Yeah.
So we are in a position where your Vikings have done exceptionally well. I remember at the beginning of the season, you were like, "Oh, my expectations are low. I'm not even really
Yeah.
following. If I get surprised, I get surprised." And sure enough, you got surprised with like a really great team. You're like 8-2 or something like
I think
that.
the comment I made to you is, are we going to be competing for the bottom of this division?
Right. Yeah. And it turns out the Vikings are forced to be reckoned with. So we're
Mm.
gonna get absolutely destroyed. What day is this on again?
It's Monday night game, man.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we'll have to be tuning in, and I think we should do a little bit of a wager,
Oh,
Adam. I think
okay.
a little bit of a wager is in order. Now, I'm not sure which one of us is shaving our mustache, but one of us is
Oh.
shaving.
So whoever loses has to shave.
Yeah, has to
Okay.
shave. Baby, clean cut.
Baby clean.
Baby
Okay.
clean.
All right. My wife is going
Yeah.
to be cheering for the Bears.
Okay. This
What's
is
your
great.
super positive?
Yeah, my super positive was that the as I'm watching football, because it's something that's bringing me joy, my daughter's sitting and watching with me, and then she's like, "Who's winning? Who has more points?" And then she's like, "Oh, the Bears are winning." It's like, "Okay, that's who I'm cheering for."
Yeah.
And then she comes back and she's watching. She's like, "Who has more points now?" She's like, "Oh, that's my team."
Yeah.
And she'll like look at the jerseys and she'll tell me like what the team names are after I told her what the team names are. I'm like, "Oh, those are the Eagles, in the green or whatever." She's like, "I call them the Eagles because they have a bird." And like she'll just like repeat it back to me, and then I'll be like, "Oh, those are the Chargers." And then she'll be like, "Oh, I call them the Lightning because they have a lightning," or whatever. And it's
Right,
just
right.
adorable. And she's starting to learn like and
Yes.
watch more sports with me. And it's just adorable because she knows like when something happens, she goes, "Ah, biscuits." Like when there's like a fumble. Like she like just is exasperated, or like when someone scores a touchdown, she'll get like happy. So she's getting it slowly, and it's very fun. Very
Elliot
fun.
he's turned a page this season. Like last year, I mean, he's watched with me because like our family really gets into it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fair weather fans. When they suck, we watch. When they're great, we watch, right? And they're the Vikings, so they suck more than they're great. So I haven't missed a season for God knows how long. My son watches along with me, but this year he's really surprised me because he's learning the rules. And
Yeah.
the flags will fly in the field, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's holding," and sure as shit, it's a holding call. So like he's really impressed me that he's gonna overtake me because I pretend to know all the rules, right? But it's the NFL, and you can't actually know all the rules because they change every damn year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna surpass me in football knowledge. I guarantee it pretty soon.
Wow.
Speaking of surpassing my knowledge, I hear that you have become quite the Genshin Impact player. I am so excited to sit back and hear you talk about a game that I've been playing since the PS4. Let's talk about Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact is a free-to-play action role-playing game developed and published by HoYoverse. The game was released originally in September of 2020 and is available on PS4, PS5, PC, mobile, and now on Xbox. It's finally happened.
Welcome to the
So-
club.
So we've talked about this game, and I did try it, on PC, and it's long story short about it is when you play Genshin Impact, it is what it is. It's a free to play kind of gotcha game. It has mechanics where it wants you to like spend money if you want to quickly get the rewards, or you can go free to play and like get everything over time. So the main thing in this game is you can unlock characters, which gives you different abilities. So each character has like very flashy, on a timer cooldown, like abilities where it's like ice or fire element, or, what they call like dendro, like all these things. And it comes together where you want to unlock more characters to get a better attack or better flashy animations, and you build a team of 4. And when you fight, if you do like ice and then fire, it'll do a special like elemental combo, which will deal more damage, like called melt. Or it'll do like electricity and ice, and it's like overload, or I
Hmm.
think that's fire and electricity. So there's all these elemental like combinations you can do. So you're like a cook. You're on the battlefield, like putting in an element, then another one, and they explode. And then you switch to another character quickly and unleash their ice attack. And then you go to another character, and then so I've gotten to the point in the game now that we're on Xbox and it's much more convenient for me to play, that I went from, there's like a rank of your account, and I went from 0 to 10,
Hmm.
or 10 or 15
Hmm.
initially. And I was like, good game, but it's not convenient for me to play. I'll come back when it's on Xbox. Now that it's finally here, I went from 15, adventure rank 15, to 22. The game completely changes and opens up. Now I've earned through playing more characters, and I've changed my team up. I've gotten better at the combat. I'm taking on like bigger challenges. So you start out in this world that's very much Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
Beautiful. You traverse, you climb with a stamina mechanic, you float and you glide down from high areas on a glider. And it's very much that Breath of the Wild, like, this is a big open world that I'm just exploring and finding chests, and there's enemies, like encampments everywhere. But now that I'm at this higher rank, I'm doing all these other activities now. Now there's challenge rooms, dungeons, something called a spiral abyss, and then the
Hmm.
rewards that you get. Like, it's all action packed in some of these things. Some of them are more like dungeons where it's like puzzles in action. And then there's just the overworld still is there and growing. So there's more continents I've never been to before. So all of these things have really opened the game up to me, where it got its hooks in me. Here's the bad part. The writing is like super plotting JRPG. Like, oh, like there's a story quest where it's like, we gotta awaken the dragon and we have to get this lyre of magic, and let's go get the teardrops and put the teardrops on the lyre and like summon the dragon. And then there's a cutscene, and then you have to do a whole bunch of more missions. Then you summon the dragon, and it's like, it's very slow. All the characters are like anime like as hell. Like, it's all
Yeah.
anime stuff. And
Yep.
it's just like, I'm not the biggest fan of like I don't care about like the story of it, but the combat is so good. That's what kind of like brings me back. So Genshin Impact is like many pros and many cons, but as you play more and more, the challenge level goes up and the enjoyment level just skyrockets. And now I'm just like, the combat is so good with the element mixing that I'm just fully addicted.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything that you say. The story can be such a roadblock to the fun, but not
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, not always.
There's like core there's like core main campaign stories, and those are usually, the cutscenes are fully voice acted. There's really awesome action sequences, and I love those.
Yeah.
But there's a bazillion side quests, and that's usually you spamming the button to get through the dialogue prompts. They're not voice acted at all, and they're
Yeah.
just super laborious and tedious, and that can really slow down the fun. The further you get in the campaign, I know exactly where you are when you're talking about that dragon. The further you get, the better those core campaign storylines get. They get super intense and blown out and extravagant and over the top anime style in the best ways. But you do have to go through a lot of the tedium to get to those points, and a lot of that is, in service of leveling up your characters, so that you can get to those further really cool story points. When you talk about Breath of the Wild, very easy comparison. Like, obviously they just like copied a lot of what that does, from the cooking to the gliding and the climbing, all that stuff. But this game is better in Breath of the Wild in a certain key aspects that I want to highlight. One is the world, fucking gorgeous. The art design
Beautiful.
in this game is stunning. Breath of the Wild had a couple of like cities or residential areas or whatever. Genshin Impact has really dense cities, from cool Asian villages to seaside cities to villages up in the clouds or on top of mountains. Snow, desert, temple, underwater. There's like a whole area that you haven't gotten to where you actually deep sea dive underwater
What?
to
Are you serious?
to like a Little Mermaid style Atlantis, where like
That's
everything is
awesome.
underwater. There's so much in this world that puts Breath of the Wild to shame, as far as just the places you can go and the different biodomes or whatever you want to call it that you can experience. The other one is the combat that you talked about is fucking phenomenal, from
Yes.
the environmental play to the fact that there are different ability types. Like you can have heavies or you can have ranged people. You get like some karate fighters who are just super fast, and they all have special power-up abilities that there's nothing like that in Zelda at all, right? And none of your weapons break. Your weapons will never break in Genshin
And
Impact.
it's so good for it. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, it is absolutely like, this game is my through line for the last 4 years, where I will play really heavy for a couple of months and then I'll bounce off while I play some of the other more prevalent games of the moment. And then when there's a lull in what's new and hot, I'll go back to Genshin, because they continue to refresh this game and pump in new areas and new challenges and new characters. You don't really
There's
have
more
to
and more and
spend
more.
any
Yeah.
money in this game, because the whole quest is available for free. The only thing that you're
Yes.
spending money on is if you want to gamble on extra characters or extra cosmetics or things like that. But this game is 100% free. It's probably the least intrusive gacha game. Like, all the gacha stuff is there, but they don't cram it down your throat. I've played, out of the Hoyoverse game series, I think there's 3. I think there's Genshin Impact, there's the
Star Rail.
Star Rail, and then there was the Zenless Zone Zero. I never played Star Rail because that one was a turn-based game, and I just like the action of Genshin Impact. And then that Zenless Zone Zero has really great action and characters and world, but like, it's a whole different kind of experience. It's not open world at all, and I just did not click with that game at all. So this is my favorite. It's the original. It's my favorite of the 3. I'm glad that you're really enjoying it.
I'm loving it.
I've never tried the multiplayer, but maybe we should try some multiplayer.
There's co-op. There's
is
co-op where you can join up with people have their lobby open that you can jump in. I haven't done it yet. There's so much I haven't done. They'll have like special events where you can test out a character to see like, hey, do a little bit of story and action with this character, and then maybe you can go into the wish system, the lottery system, to try to purchase them with the prima gems and the little currencies that you earn over time. And then it's all random, and you get a pool, and you might get a 5-star character, you might get a 4-star. Like, I've gotten like a 5-star in just some of my first like 30 pools, which isn't hard to do at all, and it's been great. And every time you do get a new character, it changes so dramatically. Like you said, going from like a bow user to someone with like a claymore and a huge sword. It's just so different. Every character's so different, and they have their own like personalities and voiceover and little stories that go with them, and they're characters and supposedly you can like these characters a lot. Like, I just unlocked like a magician guy, I just unlocked like this pirate, I just unlocked like this girl who like does a lot of very flashy golden geo moves, which looks great. So it's been very fun. I can't wait to co-op with you, Adam. It's gonna be good.
Let's do it. All right. Well, that sound is the caboose, which means this episode of Mega Dads Live has come to an end, and we're going to give you a recommendation of something outside of the world of video games that we think you will enjoy. I'm really excited because one of my favorite shows to watch with my family during this time of year is back for another season. It's called The Great Christmas Light Fight. It is on Hulu, or if you just watch, standard TV, it's on ABC. And this show, they go across the country and highlight people who have incredibly ridiculous light displays in their yard. And the over-the-top, how the hell did these people spend this much money on light fixtures for their house? Where do they keep this shit in the off-season? That's part of the fun. The other part, and this is just for me personally, like, they often go to like the very far rural corners of America where you see Bob Dan and his
Yeah.
wife Billy Joe, and they have 4 teeth between them.
Oh my
And
god.
they've put all their money not into their house that's like crumbling under the weight of these lights. They just put it all into Christmas lights and Christmas extravaganza. You're like, I just really love the holidays because if I can make a kid smile, then it's totally worth it. And I just look at these people and I'm like, God damn, they're living life right. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing putting all of our money into our vehicles or our health care or education? All we got to do is funnel it all into a 1 month period of joy and exuberance. And that's Christmas. I think I'm going to change my lifestyle because of this show. It's called The Great Christmas Light Fight. You ever watch this show, Antonio?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
It's so good. It's so good. You got to give it a shot. What's up your caboose?
So there's a little shop in like different malls and going around. They're called Five Below, and it's like the new version of the dollar store. And they have things that are about $5, sometimes more, sometimes less. And they have like all these areas where they have like toys, like stuff for the house, candy, like different things. But the quality is actually really decent. And they have something called a plush mellow. Have you heard of these? They're like stuffed animals that are incredibly soft, and they have different sizes, but they're about yay big, like about a half a basketball. And they have them stacked up. So they had a sale going on where it's like fill a bag of stuffed animals for like $5, and you can fill this gigantic bag and get like 20 of them. So there was like a Black Friday deal. So my wife went and got like Sonic the Hedgehog and Hello Kitty and like all these like stuffed animals. She comes with these like huge bags and spent just a couple dollars on them. But Five Below is a pretty cool store. The kids like it. Sometimes like I want to give my daughter like a little something when we go out shopping. So I'm like, okay, we'll go to Five Below and we'll get you like a little something from there. So check it out. Decent quality. Everything's probably full of lead, but whatever. Seriously.
My kids are addicted to Squishmallows.
Squishmallows.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
We have just an absolutely ridiculous amount of squishy, stuffy things in our house. Yeah, it's a problem. They got a problem. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Mega Dads Live. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with a friend, give them the gift of Mega Dads this holiday season
The gift of Mega Dads.
by sharing out everything we do here. And join us in our Mega Dads Discord. We have great conversations with the community all throughout the week. We will see you next week for an all-new episode of Mega Dads Live. Goodbye.